Hello everyone, in the last video we have seen about ideal integrator. Also we have seen limitations of an ideal integrator. Now we will go for the next, that is practical integrator circuit. It is also known as AC integrator circuit. Now in the last video I have drawn this diagram with the basic integrator, means only capacitor and these resistors. With this we have applied RF here. This RF provides low frequency path. This RF provides low frequency path. Now we will draw its actual proper diagram. So practical integrator circuit. This question may come in your final exams, as I explain about practical integrator circuit, or they will ask you for designing practical integrator circuit. Okay. So it is nothing but the ideal integrator, but with some extra components. So I am drawing this diagram here, op-amp with this arc compensation resistor. This compensation resistor used to compensate bias currents. Then this input with R1, here is Vi, then there is capacitor CF, this is VO, capacitor CF, then RF, feedback resistor RF. Now in the last session we have seen that at low frequency your capacitor acts as a open circuit, and that is why we have connected RF here. This RF we have connected. Okay. So feedback resistor capacitor is shunted by RF, so that gain of integrator at low frequency is limited to avoid any saturation problem. Okay. Since parallel combination of RF and CF dissipates power, it is also known as lossy integrator. Resistor RF provides the DC stabilization by limiting the low frequency gain to RF by R1. Okay. At low frequency there is no role of capacitor. So this circuit, if I remove this capacitor, means it acts as open here. If it acts as open here, then this circuit will act like which circuit? It is inverting amplifier. So simply gain of the circuit will be RF by R1, means minus RF by R1. Okay. So resistor RF plays very important role when frequency is low. Then the resistor R comp is given by parallel combination of R1 parallel RF. When RF is greater than R, when RF is greater than R1, R comp can be considered equal to R1. Okay. These conditions we have to consider while designing an integrator circuit. So at the inverting terminal of op-amp, the nodal equation can be written. Okay. So here at the inverting terminal of op-amp, suppose your Vi of S is the input voltage, okay, divided by R1. So this is current flowing through R1, plus I am writing directly in a frequency domain S CF, that is VO of S, this is output voltage, and then output voltage VO of S divided by RF equal to 0. Okay. So at the inverting input terminal of op-amp, the nodal equation means voltage at this point is given by this equation. Okay. So, rearranging the above equation, and we get V of S equal to minus 1 upon S R1 CF plus R1 by RF into Vi of S. Okay, and we want to calculate the gain of this integrator. So, here magnitude of gain is nothing but VO of j omega. I am putting S equal to j omega. Okay. So, here V of j omega divided by Vi of j omega is equal to root of, here S is equal to j omega you have to put. Okay. So, here it will become omega square R1 square CF square by plus here R1 square divided by RF square. Okay. Here I have taken the root. So, magnitude of gain is equal to RF by R1. After solving this equation, RF by R1 upon 1 plus omega RF CF bracket square. Okay. So, when RF is very large, the lossy integrator will approximately become an ideal integrator. Okay. This is CF. So, when RF is very large, this integrator will acting as a ideal integrator. So, at low frequencies, the low level frequency to be FA. So, if I am drawing this response, frequency response. So, this is frequency in log scale. Okay, and this is your VO by Vi, gain in dB. Okay, at y axis. Okay. So, at this is the response you will get. This is your FB, then ideal integrator response is like this. Ideal integrator response is like this. Okay. So, here ideally your response can be drawn like this. Okay. So, here gain is RF upon R1. Okay. Here 0 dB, and this frequency is nothing but FA. So, when your RF is large, lossy integrator will approximately become an ideal integrator. So, at low frequencies, the low level of frequency to be FA, and the gain is approximately only RF by R1. Okay. At 3 dB level, the gain is 0.707 into RF by R1. Okay. So, therefore, root of 1 plus omega RF CF bracket square is equal to root 2. Okay. So, here for F equal to FA, we get 2 pi FA RF CF, 2 pi FA RF CF equal to 1. Okay, when F equal to FA. Therefore, FA equal to 1 upon 2 pi RF CF. So, this is the low level frequency of practical integrator. Okay. So, frequency response of an ideal integrator is shown in figure like this. Okay. This is what ideal integrator response, and this is what ideal integrator response, and this one is the lossy integrator response. Okay. So, the ideal integrator exhibits here minus 20 dB per decade slope through the useful integration range. The frequency FB is the frequency at which transfer function or gain of integrator is 1 dB. This FB is at this place, your gain is 1 or 0 dB. Okay. That means gain is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FB. At that time your frequency will become FB R1 into CF. Okay. Therefore, FB equal to 1 upon 2 pi R1 CF. ठीक है. So, these are the two frequencies at low frequency and at frequency. Okay, FA and FB you will get. So, when input frequency is less than FA, the circuit will not act as an integrator. It will only act as a simple inverting amplifier. When input frequency is equal to FA, there will be 50% accuracy. As a thumb rule, if input frequency is 10 times FA, then it results in 99% of accuracy. So, from this we can state that, we can write that if the input frequency is 10 times of FA, then it will result in 99% of accuracy. Okay, that's why your FB is, it should be 10 times of FA. So, this condition is very much important for designing of an integrator. Now, we will see applications of integrators. Integrators used in combination with summers and amplifiers to form analog computers which are used to model a variety of physical systems in real time. Okay. So, in we can say like this, first application is analog computers. It is used in analog computers. Then it is used in wave shaping circuits and also used to convert square wave into triangular wave. So, second application of Schmidt trigger is integrator is wave shaping circuits. And then third application is for solving differential equations in analog to digital converter, means A to D converters, we require integrators. Okay. So, these are the applications. You can also it is used in RAM generators for converting square to triangular wave. So, RAM generators. Okay. So, these are the applications you can write in your exam. Okay. Now, we will see one designing sum on this topic, because always there is combination of two questions. First is explain what an integrator, and then design an integrator with some specifications they have given, they will give you, and then you have to design that integrator. Okay. So, for such type of combination we will see one designing sum. So, first write down that design an integrator with a DC gain of 10, to integrate the square wave input of 20 kilohertz. Okay. This much only given in your designing sum. So, what is DC gain? In the frequency response, I told you that frequency response is like this. This is FA, this is FB, okay, and this is your gain at 0 frequencies. Gain at 0 frequency is nothing but the DC gain 10. So, you can write A is equal to RF upon R, okay, or you can write RF upon R1, that we have seen in our circuit diagram. It is given is 10. Okay. So, frequency of square wave input given is 20 kilohertz. here FA here and FB is here, okay, and gain at 0 frequency is nothing but the DC gain 10. So, in the last sessions we have, in the last point we have seen that DC gain RF by R1 is equal to 10, okay. So, here you can write RF by R1 is equal to 10. Now, to eliminate the offset voltage in the integrator, the feedback factor RF, feedback factor or a feedback resistor RF must be greater than 10 times of input resistor, must be greater than 10 times of input resistor R1, okay. So, your RF, we can write condition like this, RF should be equal to 10 times of R1. So, assume R1 is equal to 10 kilo ohm. So, RF becomes 100 kilo ohms, okay. So, these two components we have calculated from this knowledge, okay. So, for this you should know the circuit diagram. So, before starting this point only, after this only you have to actually draw the circuit diagram of practical integrator. So, practical integrator contains what? Again we are doing revision of this. There is one capacitor in the feedback, okay. Then there is one feedback resistor RF, which we have calculated 100K, which we have calculated 100K, okay. This is RF, this is CF, okay, and here we have connected one resistor, that is R1. Then here we have connected input with 20 kilohertz, okay. So, this is Vi. Now, we know R1 is 10K, RF we know, only CF is remaining, okay. So, for this we have FA frequency, FA is equal to 2 kilohertz. After calculation we no, here it is not calculated, okay. What is given? They have given us FB they have given, okay. So, here I am writing FB. So, FB is here 20 kilohertz, it is given, okay. Now, what is our condition? In the integrator, for proper integration, your F should be greater than or equal to 10 times of FA. This F is nothing but the FP, okay. So, F upon FA is equal to 10, means FB upon FA equal to 10. So, you know FB is 20 kilohertz. So, from that you can calculate FA is equal to 2 kilohertz, okay. Now, we for practical integrator we know what is the formula for FA. FA is equal to 1 upon 2 pi RF into CF. Here 1 upon, you have to transfer this FA here. So, 2 pi RF FA, and from that you can calculate, put the all values, we have all values. So, CF will be 8 nanofarad, okay. This is the feedback capacitor. So, put the value of CF is 8 nanofarad. If you put these component values, then true integration will takes place from FA to FB, that means from 2 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz, okay. This is the meaning of this sum, okay. So, that is all for today. See you in next lecture. Thank you.